Hey, get yourself ready for 20 unexplained facts about the world it's hard to believe are true. Well, it's impossible for anyone to know absolutely everything, except maybe my brother-in-law. The development of the internet has definitely brought some interesting facts to light. In this video, you'll find a collection of fascinating tidbits that will surely manage to blow your mind. Number 20. Dolphins get high on pufferfish. Dolphins and humans have more in common than you'd think. The creators of a documentary called Dolphins Spy in the Pod noticed something weird during filming. They saw young dolphins carefully chewing on pufferfish and passing it to each other. These fish release a nerve toxin that can actually be deadly. But in small amounts, it has a narcotic effect, and dolphins have learned to take advantage of this. Talk about puff puff pass. Number 19. The internet speed at NASA is 91 gigabits per second. This means that you'd be able to download all the episodes of all your favorite series in a split second. Don't get too excited though, because you'll only find this super-duper high-speed internet on a private network shared by scientific institutions in the US. Number 18. Japan changed its flag in 1999. Japan has one of the most easily recognizable flags out there, a white rectangle with a red circle on it, known as the Hinumaru, or Circle of the Sun. This symbol has a long and rich history. But perhaps you didn't notice that in 1999, Japan decided to shift the circle on the flag ever so slightly towards the center. No? It slipped by you? Well, now you know. Number 17. J.K. Rowling's generosity got her kicked off Forbes' list of billionaires. The first female billionaire novelist who brought us the magical world of Harry Potter is living proof that money can't spoil good people. Rowling's huge income has landed her on all kinds of lists of the world's richest people. Except in 2012, that is. She didn't make it on Forbes' list of billionaires that year because she donated about $160 million to different charity organizations. 16. In East Asia, personal stamps are used like signatures. If you're in China, Japan, or Korea and you need to sign an official document, don't worry if you can't find a pen, because you won't need it. In these countries, people use a special rubber stamp designating their name. Some do write their signature, but these personal seals remain the main tool to verify the identity of an individual, an official business, or a government body. The handles of these stamps are ornately carved and often depict mysterious beasts. Number 15. Being struck by lightning leaves a person temporarily tattooed. Not many people survive being struck by lightning, but those lucky few who come out alive also come out with strange patterns on their skin. Known as Lichtenberg figures or lightning flowers, these tattoos occur on any surface or material damaged by high voltage. Unfortunately, there's no scientific explanation as to why these patterns occur on lightning strike victims. Number 14. A fetus can use its own stem cells to heal its mother's heart. In an incredible act of self-preservation, scientists have found that a fetus will promote its own survival by protecting its mother's heart. This phenomenon could explain why half the women who develop heart weakness during or just after pregnancy recover spontaneously. 13. The Philippines is home to islandception. In other words, if you want to see an island within a lake on an island within a lake on an island, book a trip to the Philippines. Alright, first off, you've got the Philippines Luzon Island. Within that, there's Lake Taal. There you'll find Volcano Island. That, in turn, is home to Main Crater Lake. Keep diving deeper to find Vulcan Point Island within that lake. Whew! Did you catch all that? 12. Steve Jobs made the impossible possible. A former Apple employee shared a story that shows just how much of a genius Steve Jobs really was. When engineers working on their very first iPod finished the prototype, they presented their work to the boss. Mr. Jobs examined the device for a bit, but ultimately rejected it, saying it was too big. The engineers claimed it was impossible to make it any smaller. So Jobs stood up, walked over to a fish tank, and dropped the iPod in the water. As the device sank to the bottom, Jobs pointed to the tank and exclaimed to his team, "Those are air bubbles. That means there's space in there. Make it smaller." Number 11. Life would be very different for humans if we had eagle vision. Imagine how awesome it would be to be able to notice an ant on the ground from the roof of a 10-story building, to make out the expression on basketball players' faces from the worst seats in the arena, and to have a 340-degree visual field versus the puny 180-degree one we humans have now. Life with eagle vision sounds great and all, but how would you like to have your eyes on the sides of your head? Number 10. The record for the longest uninterrupted stay in space is over a year. Russian cosmonaut Valery Polyakov holds the record for the longest single stay in space in human history. In just one trip, he spent 437 days and 18 hours aboard the Mir space station from January 8, 1994 to March 22, 1995. Number 9. There are no McDonald's restaurants in Iceland. Iceland got its first McDonald's in 1993, but the fast food chain didn't do so well there, so the last one closed its doors in 2009. What's really interesting is that the person who bought the last McDonald's hamburger ever sold in Iceland didn't eat a souvenir. He kept the burger, along with the fries that came with it, in a plastic bag for 3 years. During this time, the hamburger didn't change at all. It didn't mold or decompose or anything. Scary. Number 8. One guy went from fit to overweight to fit again in just a year. American fitness coach Drew Manning decided to conduct an experiment so he could better understand people who struggle to lose weight and perhaps help them with this battle. He quit exercising and started eating junk food and drinking soda. In 6 months, he gained 66 pounds. Yet when he went back to his previous diet and exercise regimen, he lost all this extra weight within another 6 months. Well, so much for my endless excuses. Number 7. Australia's first police force was formed from convicts. For a long time, the British government exiled criminals to its Australian colony. But, as you can imagine, crime rates started growing there, and something needed to be done about it. So, when the first police force was formed in Australia in 1788, it consisted entirely of the most well-behaved convicts living there. This force was also called the Night Watch. Sounds familiar. Number 6. Germany counts its trees. If you visit Germany, you might notice that all the trees in the parks are numbered. That's because specialists there count trees and collect data on their age, condition, and so on. They're also very careful about providing the trees with proper care so that they don't fall down. Way to set an example, Germany. Number 5. The loneliest creature on Earth is a whale. The most lonesome creature on the planet is a whale that lives in the North Pacific Ocean. It's been calling for a mate for 20 years. Unfortunately, the frequency of its call is unusually high-pitched, so none of the other whales in the area will answer it. Boy, that's a really long time to be single. Number 4. Earthquakes make our days shorter. Extremely powerful earthquakes shorten the day on our planet. Oh, and these changes are permanent. Major tremors actually shift the planet's spin on its axis. For example, the earthquake that happened in Japan in 2011 robbed us of 1.8 microseconds of the day. As for the Sumatra earthquake in 2004, it cost us about 7 microseconds. Number 3. The longest concert ever will last 639 years. This record-breaking musical performance is happening right now in St. Burchardi Church in Halberstadt, Germany. It started in September 5, 2001, and is planned to end in 2640. The piece being played is American composer John Cage's work called As Slow as Possible. And yes, it's pretty slow. The last change of a note was in 2013, and the next is set for 2020. Wow, are the musicians union? What a gig! Number 2. There is such a thing as laughter epidemics. Well, at least one epidemic of uncontrollable laughter broke out in 1962 in Tanzania. It affected several thousands of people in different villages, and one school even had to be closed. This strange condition also included symptoms like pain, fainting, rashes, and crying. And number 1. People have died from dancing. In 1518, Strasbourg was affected by a bout of inexplicable dancing. It lasted for 1 month and was dubbed dance fever. There was no clear reason why people were dancing non-stop, but some actually died from exhaustion. Well, what fact did you find the most surprising? Tell us in the comments below. If this video was fun for you, then give us a like, and remember to subscribe to our channel to stay with us on the bright side of life.